if necessary, the Representative Irwin Cotler just said so.
Canada that has regarded the United Nations as an organizing idiom of Canadian foreign policy, and that has made a substantial contribution to the development of United Nations law and the cause of human rights. I regret, therefore, that I could not accept your invitation to join the investigative mission into Beit Hanoun headed by Archbishop Tutu. May I explain? First, as a law professor and international lawyer, I could not accept a mandate to hear only one party of a dispute. The terms of reference deliberately ignored the Palestinian rocket attacks on the Israeli city of Sderot that preceded Israel's actions and which continue as we meet. How could one accept a mandate that violated fundamental justice, the right to a fair hearing and fundamental due process? Second, the mandate also violated the presumption of innocence. The resolution began by condemning, and I quote, the Israeli willful killing of Palestinian civilians, unquote. How could one accept a fact-finding mission with a prior determination of guilt, a kind of Alice in Wonderland inquiry, where the conviction was secured and the sentence passed even before the inquiry began? It is not surprising, therefore, that Council members that most consistently support the human rights mechanism of this body, including my country, Canada, all refuse to support this mandate. Regrettably, this discriminatory and one-sided approach has become not the exception but the norm. For the earlier sessions against Israel reflected not only the same contempt for the rule of law, but systematically singled out a member state for selective and discriminatory treatment while granting the violators exculpatory immunity. As a former Canadian Justice Minister and Member of Parliament, I can tell you that the Canadian people supported the changes establishing this Council because we genuinely believed it would herald reform organized around the principles of universality, equality, and fairness. It appears that the Council is about to institutionalize the condemnation of Israel as a standing item on the agenda, the permanent singling out of a member state for differential and discriminatory treatment. Mr. President, the tragedy is that all of this is taking place under the protective cover of the United Nations, undermining thereby the cause of the United Nations, international law, and human rights, which we all hold dear. I trust that this Council will restore in process and in substance the founding ideals that inspired the establishment of the United Nations and the United Nations human rights system, the principles of universality, equality, and fairness, and the right to equal treatment before the law. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank you, sir, for that statement. Now,